The fact that the Matilda Committee endorsed it with so many awards, the award for Best Director, the award for Best New Australian Work, the award for Best Independent Production. Those three awards are not lightly given away, and there was some stiff competition last year. Last year was a very good year for theatre.
The show, Sacha's been writing it for years. It's kind of been a passion of his, and it had various manifestations and developments.
I first encountered the Kursk as a work in progress at Queensland Theatre Company, and I thought it was a great story.
The 15th of August 2000, I was at the university at the time, and just my friend came up to me and said, have you heard the news? And I said, what? I didn't have any time to watch the news or anything, you know, I was too busy. And he said to me that the Russian submarine went down.
I think it's a very human story, it's a universal story about survival and about dealing with immense grief and tragedy. But it's also a story of great bravery and courage, which I think all people, whether they're Australian or Russian, will be able to relate to.
The company then supported it through its development, and then finally it was performed at Metro Arts. And it was great to see it as a piece of theatre because it was still very moving and engaging and entertaining.
It's just a fast road down the highway from beginning to end, which is, you know, I think a really exciting. You know a script is in it, a form that it's ready to be produced.
It was a really brilliant, simple piece of theatrical art with lots of simple storytelling means and some great characters and some brilliant performances, and it was great to see it become a surprise hit of the Brisbane theatre season.
We've had a magnificent sound design and lighting design from our sound designer Luke Lickfold. Creates a very suspenseful atmosphere with the soundscape, which pervades the whole piece. It really creates that atmosphere of claustrophobia and foreboding in the play. The costumes are authentic Russian naval costumes.
After my first trip to Russia, I came back to Australia, and suddenly my parents called me from Poland. They received an anonymous parcel which was addressed to me, but no address, no return address on it. And they opened it, and there was no note, nothing, not a word. There was just a uniform of the Russian submarine captain there, with full regalia and medals attached to it.
The authenticity of them is what helps us get across the authenticity of the story.
Then I received donations, tokens like this, like uniforms from a widow of an admiral. That was incredibly moving. She worked in the chemist in Kaliningrad. And another friend of a friend spoke to her, and suddenly she just took out of the cupboard her deceased husband's uniform and just gave it to me.
We almost feel like the story is being told by the ghosts of these dead submariners.
I also spoke to a number of other officers, and the general response was, please do it. Please tell this story.
An Australian audience will relate to this piece because it is a universal tale of tragedy and courage.
It's a blokey play that I think will reach into the hearts of any audiences. It's beautifully designed, wonderfully put together, and I think well worth taking part in.
From a point of view of the story, it will fill any space because it's the epic nature of the piece will come out, you know, over the footlights. The performances more than reach out, you know, to any size venue, and so you can put that in any venue and it'll still be as powerful and as effective it was in the Metro, without question.
I think that if we share the grief and hope together, we remind ourselves that we are human. And I think that's important for everyone.
Кто бы сказал, что мы встретимся под этой звездой? Я не смотрел на часы, я думал, у меня проездной. Побереги себя, не трать на меня весь свой яд. Все уже случилось, мертвые матросы не спят. Я не знал, что я участвую в этой войне. Кто бы сказал, что мы встретимся под этой звездой? Я не смотрел на часы, я думал, у меня проездной. Побереги себя, не трать на меня весь свой яд. Все уже случилось, мертвые матросы не спят. Я не знал, что я участвую в этой войне.